Hi. Thank you for coming to California Academy. And please come again, and please look up Claude, our albino alligator. That's my buddy. He came, well, no, his egg was found in Louisiana, and it was sold to the St. Augustine Alligator Farm and Zoological Society in St. Augustine, Florida. And they kept him there until he was hatched on September 15th, 1995. And then, in 2008, he came to us. And he's been with us ever since.
And what kind of things he's going to eat?
In the wild, he'll eat anything that comes near him. He's what we call a lie-in-wait predator. He'll drift towards a prey, a turtle, a fish, a deer, a bird, anything alive he'll eat. And he drifts over towards it. And once he gets a few meters away, then he attacks it. And then he grabs them, he'll spin, and then they'll drown, and then he'll eat them. So in the wild, anything that comes near him. But here, we can't give him everything because a bunch of things. So what we do is we bring in organic chickens, rats, and fish, and that's what we feed him. And what we do is a couple times a week, we'll play this certain ping. And whenever he hears this ping, he swims around to the corner of the rock and the gate, and he stays there. And then they put a ladder here, and it goes down on top of the rock, and then 3 people go down in there. A guard that has a big shield, then a biologist who does the feeding, and then a helper. And then they'll feed him the rat, the dead rats, the chicken, and the fish. And then it's like nutrient gel, kind of like Jello with a bunch of different good vitamins and nutrients in it. And he'll get a few pounds of that a week.
So, did he have any problems or like health?
Nothing life-threatening yet. But what we do is we take him out of the water about once or twice a year for a full physical. His biggest problems that he had were when we tried to get him a girlfriend. It didn't go so well. If you walk on the other side, you can look at his hands, and his front hand, he's missing a pinky. Bonnie kind of took it either as a souvenir, or we're not quite sure why, but then we kind of sent her away.
So he's single?
He's single, yep. He's single and loving it now.
And then I heard his life is like 50 years.
Well, for a normal alligator, no. A normal alligator could live, a male alligator is called a bull. A bull could live about 70 years and get to about 500 kilos. But Claude is, Claude's 22 years old, and he's about 120 kilos.
I see.
So they can get almost 5 times larger. But he won't get any more. He couldn't get any longer because they only go about 20 feet long, 7 meters long, 6-7 meters long. But he won't get much longer than that. And we won't think he's going to get too much bigger because the size relates to how much food he eats and how big his environment is. So we restrict his diet and his environment, so hopefully he'll stay just like that. Can he see? No. He suffers from albinoism. And albinoism is a very rare phenomenon that occurs inside your genes, and it prevents your genes from producing melanin. And melanin is a substance that produces color. It gives us the color of our skin, our nails, our eyes. Well, for Claude, for instance, in his eyes are clear. The white part of our eye is clear. The iris, which is a darker color of our eye, is clear. So for us, the only light that enters our head is through the tiny pupil. For Claude, 100% of the light that hits his eye goes into him. So he's about 50 to 70% blind. It's kind of like, you ever go snow skiing and you take your goggles off and you can't see? That's what his life is like. So he can't see. So he can't see very well. His eye-hand coordination is very poor. So he's got a lot of physiological, mental problems because of the albinoism.
I see. Because last time I came here, he didn't move. Also, he didn't move. What kind of exercise he does?
Not much. Claude could go 3 years without eating. 3 years without eating. So in order to go 3 years without eating, they're very, very conservative on the movements they make. He doesn't move unless for a really important reason. That's why you see them swimming in the wild, just very, very slowly. Just kind of like drifting. And they don't move around a lot. They'll go down maybe in the water, they go up slowly. They'll go very, very slowly, hardly ever move until they know they're going to eat something, and then they'll get close to them. Then they'll expend that energy, and then they'll eat whatever they find, and then go back to resting again for a while.
So for your imagination, if you think about any animal, what kind of animal you can think about it? Like strong animal, weak animal, what kind of animal it can be? Like he can be like a cheetah, he can be a lion. What do you think?
Yes, any mammal and any reptile can be albino. Snakes, rats, people. You ever see people with dark sunglasses and with coats and they're really, really pale skin? They might be suffering from albino.
Does he have any friends here?
We tried to get him to one girl, but she just tried to eat him. So, alligators like to be alone. In the wild, a male would command maybe 4 or 5 square kilometer territory as his own. A female maybe a 2 kilometer territory as her own, and they won't let anyone come in and move in. They'll let people go by, let alligators go by, and they'll let a girl come by and spend the night, do a little reproduction. But other than that, his territory is his own. So we think maybe that was one of the problems that they had here, that they're too close all the time. They really don't like being together.
Again, does he sleep over there?
He sleeps there. Generally, he sleeps there or on top of his rock.
Yeah.
And the rock, yes, and the rock is a special rock. Claude can't be out in the sun because the sun will kill him. He has no defense against the sun. He's a true albino alligator. But the sun is very important for his life. So what we did to him is we artificially heat the rock, the radiant power rock. So the rock is about 20 degrees. The rock is about 20 degrees warmer than the ambient temperature. And that's what he uses to warm himself because he's cold-blooded. So he jumps up on top of that and he warms up. Likewise, after he eats, he'll lie on top of the rock, and that'll help his digestion. And Claude could go 3 years. Claude could go 3 years without eating. He can also determine the sex of the offspring. When the female alligator lays her eggs, if she packs a lot of insulation in there, they're all going to be female. They're all going to be male. If she doesn't pack a lot of insulation in they're really cool eggs, they're all going to be female. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. So maybe around everything in that, because you strengthen everything for 3:30, right?
Yes. Yeah. So probably.
I don't need to be This is very special.
Yeah, and the alligator snappy turtles.
Over there.
Yep, we have 5 of them in there,
Yeah.
and they were destined for a Chinese char-broiler restaurant in the city. But they tried to bring them over from Alabama, but they were stopped by the United States Customs.
But the alligators,
alligator snapping turtles.
they don't fight.
No, they used to once in a while, but now they keep away. But the only time that they ever have a problem is Claude likes to stay on the rock, and he likes to keep his head on that end and his tail right there. And now he's so big, his tail is off the rock, and he smacks the alligator, the turtles once in a while. That's when they get upset. But in a few months, maybe this year or next year, we're going to change this around and make it a lot more active for them, so they have a little more area to play around in.
Because this is the only space, right?
Exactly. Beautiful, isn't he?
It is. Yeah, he's beautiful.
And that's his favorite spot. We're constantly draining water out of the swamp and filtering it, cleaning it, and then we pump it back, and that's where we pump it back. So he likes that water being pumped in his face.
Oh, that's why. Because last time he was there,
Yep, that's his favorite spot.
and he had removed. So now I understand why he doesn't
Yep.
move. You explained to me. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Well, I make a video.
Good.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like the video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. シェイシェイ、どうもありがとうございました。本日のビデオいかがでしたか？日本には白いワニがいるんでしょうか？また教えてくださいね。これからもいろいろとビデオをアップロードしますのでお楽しみにしてください。